got all hot and good and gooey, and
Yeah.
added some cinnamon, some coconut flakes.
Relatively inexpensive, and it's really simple.
Organic is not sprayed, but it can still get contaminated by maybe my body screamed loud enough for me to finally like listen to the aftermath and not the immediate.
So on this podcast episode, we're going to talk about where we're at on our current food journey and what we're eating, and how it's led up to this point. Especially you, Marley, you've been on this 7-year vegan journey.
Yeah.
And how's that going for you right now?
Yeah, I feel like this episode is about to get very vulnerable. Food is like a very vulnerable topic for me. And I think a lot of it is because my journey with food has been not, I guess, the most stable. Kevin, where do I even begin with this?
Well, why don't you just talk about where you're at? Like, what are we eating right now? You know, we're making we're making overnight oats.
Yeah.
But not in like the traditional way where people put the fruit in the thing and soak it overnight and then they unscrew the cap and then it's ready to go. We're doing something a little different.
Right. Well, okay, so what we're eating right now, I mean, we could talk about the overnight oats, but, well, now I feel like that's raising questions about the overnight oats. What do we do with the overnight oats, Kevin?
Yeah.
We just, like, soak it in Kangen water, and we use this, like, sprouted oats. It's specifically, is it 1 Degree? Is that the brand?
Yeah, it's an organic Canadian brand.
Yeah, so for some reason, not all oats work. I don't know if it's because this specific kind is sprouted oats, so it's already been soaked. Is that right? Or they've gone through a different process. But for whatever reason, these oats, when you pour extra, and I don't know also if it's because we're using Kangen water, which is way more absorptive than normal water, and so that also might be a factor. But when we pour extra Kangen water into our oats, it creates like an oat milk after it's been soaked overnight. And so we'll pour the excess oat milk into a cup and we can drink it, and I'll add it into smoothies sometimes, and it's like really good. So, yeah, so that's something. Is that kind of what you're talking about? And then we do end up like heating it up even. We don't always heat it up because if it's soaked overnight, you don't really have to heat it up. But lately I've just been craving.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to switch it up where we heat it up actually most mornings.
Yeah.
And we put the frozen fruit in there. So that's what we're doing for breakfast. And a lot of people are confused on like, what do I eat for breakfast? Like the guy we were talking to at the grocery store.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been trying to figure it out. What do I eat for breakfast? I don't think it's that complicated. Like, we've been eating the same breakfast for probably the last 4 months straight.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it's just not getting old.
Yeah. I don't think you need to do this whole mathematical equation on, okay, I'm going to eat this breakfast, and then tomorrow I'm going to eat this. I think it's actually really simple.
Right. I think so too.
Yeah. So then lunch.
We put like fruit in it too. We do put like, we add fruit in. Like this morning we heated up our oats, put a bunch of frozen fruit in, got all hot and good and gooey, and added some cinnamon, some coconut flakes, some cashews, and it was just really good.
And it's like relatively inexpensive, and it's really
Yeah.
simple because I soaked the oats the night before, obviously. So you do a little bit of the work the night before, and then you wake up the next day, and like it's really simple. And
Really simple.
yeah, I think
We eat very simply.
yeah, and like it can be. I think even what I noticed at the grocery store, that even though the guy was really nice, when we were telling him about what we did, I could almost sense that it's like this triggering topic for people when you say like, yeah, I have overnight oats, organic, and put fruit, and I do that every morning. And then
Yeah.
it can be triggering for people where they're like, I don't know why it's triggering, but it's almost like it can come off as like, well, we figured it out and we're sticking to it, and like
We're healthy.
we're healthy. And
Yeah.
then somehow that triggers people.
Yeah. This has been a lot of the reason why it feels so vulnerable for me to talk about food, because for some reason my diet, the way I eat, like my whole food journey is very triggering for other people.
Your Whole Foods journey.
My whole foods journey.
That's where we were at yesterday.
That's where we
Going
get a lot
through
of our
Whole
food.
Foods.
Yeah. But yeah, my food journey seems very triggering for people, and like I don't know if it's because I eat very cleanly. I think that's why. And in my mind, like if they only knew like what I went through to make me eat this way, I don't know that they would get triggered by my food. But if someone's like eating super cleanly, they seem like they have their shit together, like I think it can be triggering if you're like, it brings up all that trauma that other people might have around food.
Right, like
And
if they have their own cravings they can't get over, then they're like,
addictions,
well,
yeah, like we all have food addictions, right? And so
yeah, like even
yeah.
sometimes I'll put coffee creamer on top of the oats just to
Yeah.
make it a little sweeter. And I mean, you don't do that because you're very
Yeah.
committed on this food journey.
Yeah, so maybe we should talk about, wait, sorry, you continue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you mentioned like what you went through. Do you want to talk about what you went through to get to this point?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good to kind of lay the foundation here. So when I went through an awakening where I spontaneously started reliving my past life memories, and it was super, super traumatic. And it was like very intense memories, like full body remembrance. I talk about this all the time because I wrote a book about it, just published the memoir, and like I've done so much healing around it.
So you've heard us talk about Marley's past life memories. Well, she actually wrote a book about it. And Marley, do you want to share what is in your book?
Yeah, well, so the book is called Before I Live, I Die. And it's about my journey of spontaneously remembering my past lives when I was 20. It was like a full body remembrance and kind of just took over my whole life. And it was around the time that I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was experiencing extreme anxiety, extreme chronic pain, and it felt like there was no cure to any of the suffering I was going through. then I started remembering my past lives, reliving them full body in my everyday waking life. And this book is about my journey. And the subtitle is How I Overcame Fear of Death Through Past Life Healing. And it's a lot about death. It's a lot about overcoming fear of death. And it's a lot of emotional healing, overcoming trauma, and all of that.
It's really captivating. Some of the lifetimes you explain are super interesting. So
Thanks, Kev. They're also kind of gruesome, but that was the journey, and I did not hold back in my storytelling.
Yeah, and it took you 6 or 7 years to write it, and then you ended up publishing it on Amazon, which is awesome. I think,
so check it out. The link is below, and you can find it on Amazon and get yourself a copy.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Back to the video.
But it was very traumatic to my body, and not only did I go through very deep emotional changes through healing really traumatic past lifetimes, I also went through very extreme physical shifts in my body where I became extremely sensitive to everything in my environment. I became really, really sensitive to everything in my environment, like to an extreme. I think it was both PTSD. I had really intense PTSD after having relived such gruesome lifetimes in a very real way, and I don't even know if I have words to describe the capacity of trauma that I experienced there. But yeah, for a long time I had PTSD symptoms where I thought someone was following me. I'd have these horrible spontaneous visions of someone stabbing me, where I'd think something bad is about to happen, and I literally couldn't be alone. Anyway, this all ties into food because I think a lot of not only did my sensitivity skyrocket because I'd gone through a very intense shedding of layers of trauma and done such deep soul healing that my field became much clearer and I could pick up on a lot more going on in my environment. But I also had a lot of trauma to work through. So I think...
What was your diet before this happened?
So I was vegetarian.
Yeah.
And I'd been raised vegetarian my whole life, so I really had never had meat. And I never craved meat. I'm really grateful I was raised vegetarian. Once things started to shift for me to be more sensitive, I started to cut out dairy. And it was partially for environmental reasons. I didn't want to consume animal products anymore because I was at the time picking up on a lot of the trauma around animals and the food industry.
The same past lives you were feeling, you could also feel the lives of the animal.
Yeah.
So that's more intense than if somebody is just feeling bad about oh, this cow probably suffered. That's one thing, but then you're actually feeling the life of the cow.
Yeah.
Or the
That's
fish,
why I can't eat meat, because I just feel it. I feel the animal too much. And it's not that I think that that's bad. One could say, oh, that's really beautiful that you feel the animal's life. It's that I almost feel like I have to process the karma of that being.
Because it would be pretty...
through my own body.
Yeah, it would be exciting maybe if you ate fish, because then you could be like, oh, this fish swimming through the vast ocean,
Yeah.
or,
I mean, I've considered it, and I still to this day am considering it. I'm not like close to anything, but
yeah,
I am just kind of like, I pick up on so much that like eating an animal can, especially, we can go into the food industry eventually, but like, especially with our food industry, with the way animals are treated and all of that, it's like my body will try to like process all the karma that soul has experienced of that being.
yeah.
And that's just not fueling. Like, we eat food to fuel our bodies, not to like
Right.
drain ourselves.
Okay, I just had a crazy question.
Okay.
What if you were hired by the CIA to like eat a little piece of somebody, that like a person that had died,
Oh God, Kevin.
and then through that you could figure out how they got killed?
Yeah, so that's interesting. I have wondered if I can do that. Not okay, honey, I'm not gonna like eat a person, first of all.
Yeah.
I can pick up on that already without eating a person. Like,
Okay.
oh my gosh. I can like just even being in the presence of someone, like when I do a reading for someone, they'll send me a photo of them and I can just pick up on their energy. Okay.
Yeah.
The like limit of my abilities is that I don't only pick up on one lifetime. I see every soul as like the eternal being that they are. And so more, I would say that my gift lies more in picking up on the karmic cycles that soul is in, rather than telling them exactly what has happened in what like this current life, because sometimes like I just pick up on the most deepest emotional trauma, and usually that lies in another lifetime. And so to like, for me to be able to separate the lifetimes out and be like, this is for sure this current life, that's challenging for me, because I'll see the whole picture of the soul when I read them. And that's why I call it the water body, the emotional body. It's different than like remote viewing, where someone can like view an experience as someone has. Like, there are like psychic remote viewers who can view. We're getting so off topic here.
Yeah. No,
But
eventually we'll have to talk about dinner, but what we eat for dinner. But
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like remote viewing is different. That's like, I don't even know, because it's not my expertise. I just know that like they're looking, like people who remote view, someone can like view what's happening, or maybe even what happened in a place. Like, they might be picking up on energetic imprints. I can pick up on that too, but it runs so deep. The imprints that I pick up on are like eternal. And so it's like I'll pick up on way more than what just happened like a month ago, you know? So that's why like I don't feel like I could help with someone solving like a murder. And
right.
yeah, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So,
Anyway, I just thought I'd ask, and then
yeah.
so anyways, yeah, that's a good backstory on.
Yeah, well, I feel like I didn't really finish describing like what kind of happened in my past, like with food. My sensitivities heightened. I was picking up on a lot more. I also had a lot of emotional trauma to work through. And I started to basically reject everything that I was eating. It didn't matter what I ate. It felt like my gut was being punched over and over again after every time I ate. And it was so bad. I was like, I hated eating. Every time I ate, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in so much pain again. And so I went to like a ton of different naturopaths. I went to so many different people. Everyone thought they knew what was wrong with me, and everyone was wrong. Let's just put it that way. I tried everything. I tried taking like supplements. A lot of times the supplements that I would be given, or the homeopathic remedies I'd be given, they would overdose me because I was so sensitive. And so I would get like almost like feel like I was dying. And then I would like internally blame the naturopath, but I realized I wasn't telling them how sensitive I was. So I started going to different healers, and I would always say, I'm 10 times more sensitive than you think I am. And I basically was a question mark case for everyone. No one knew what was wrong with me, and nothing they did helped. Okay.
And did you ever end up getting diagnosed?
Well, so this was already after I had gotten diagnosed with fibromyalgia.
Okay.
So I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia right before I started remembering my past lives. So, yeah. So I had fibromyalgia. I know a lot of people with fibromyalgia experience like challenges with food.
Yeah, because it's any kind of inflammation will heighten any tension in the body.
I think a lot of people with chronic illness have challenge with food.
Yeah.
But
Well, also like thyroid issues.
yeah.
People have trouble with food.
Yeah.
Certain foods.
Yeah. Yeah, so I started diving into the food industry to kind of figure out what's going on here. And I actually had a friend who taught me a lot about the food industry, and she shared a lot of information that I didn't know. And so...
Was this the girl from California?
Yeah. So do I share all of that? I'm trying to like keep it concise here because there's so much to this. But my sister and I had gone on like a road trip, and then we ended up moving to a place in LA, and we had a roommate down there who ended up teaching.
You mean up there?
Up there? Oh, wow. Yeah, because we're in Hawaii right now. So technically it's up there. But we road tripped from Washington down to LA. We hadn't intended to live in LA. Like, that was not the plan. But it was just the way life just kind of unfolded. We ended up living there for about 6 months, 5 months. And it turned out that our roommate knew a lot about the food industry, and she taught me so much about things that I did not know, and it helped me really unravel a lot of the problems I was having with my gut, because I'd gone on an elimination diet. I was only eating like kale and broccoli, and this is what several naturopaths told me to do, was to like eliminate any foods that could cause inflammation, and that my body was so inflamed that it was getting angry every time I ate anything. And so I eliminated everything and was eating like very, very minimally. But that still like wasn't healing the root of the problem. I still felt like there was like a literal giant knot in my gut. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. No one knew how to fix it. So when I started learning about the food industry, I started learning about like the difference between conventional veggies and organic veggies.
Right, and that's another thing is like we only eat organic.
Yeah. And like you already knew the difference here. Like what were you taught, Kev? Because you grew up with a mom who was pretty conscious of this stuff.
So, yeah, I mean, I was raised on organic food, and my mom would drive like an hour to an organic farm because they didn't sell. This was before they were selling organic produce and food, like in the grocery stores.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she just kind of taught me about that, and so that kind of stuck with me. Just about the chemicals that they spray to keep the bugs off.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think about it, like, why would you want to, you know, it's like if you spray your weeds with chemicals so the weeds don't grow, and then you eat you eat the grass or something, like, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
I think people just don't put too much thought into it.
No.
The whole organic thing can also be triggering for people because they're like, maybe they've put a lot of focus in other areas of their life and then not about food.
Right.
And so they're like, I don't have time to think about this, or there's so many chemicals in the air already that what does it matter?
Yeah.
But it is pretty important.
I mean, I've never heard a doctor say that conventional versus organic food matters.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Like, our medical
like,
system does not care if it's sprayed or if it's not sprayed, which is a huge problem.
Has a doctor ever been like, I think I'm going to put you on a only organic diet for the next year, and we're going to see if these
right
symptoms.
And actually, diet isn't even talked about enough. And I think we could talk about the medical system more in our next pod.
Yeah.
But just going back to the difference between organic versus conventional food. Conventional is sprayed, right?
Yeah.
It's that, I mean, to me, that shouldn't be what conventional food is, but
yeah,
it is. It's sprayed with chemicals to get the bugs off.
Right.
Organic is not sprayed, but it can still get contaminated by the
runoffs of other farms.
Conventional farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might happen a lot in California too. There's like the conventional farms next to the organic farms. Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, I think the reason we're bringing this up too is because we eat a lot of veggies for dinner, like red peppers, onions, kale, cucumber, zucchini.
Yeah.
And we just stir fry that all up. And then lately what we've been doing is been making brown rice pasta, organic brown rice pasta, putting the veggies over the pasta.
Yeah.
And making like a cashew butter sauce.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do the veggies over different things, but we've been doing it over the pasta, the brown rice pasta.
Yeah.
Probably for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I would say. So it's like the same. Ooh, that was loud. It's the same breakfast and the same dinner. And I think you might hear a lot about variety, but it might also be easy for your body to, because I feel pretty energetic, even though I seem pretty relaxed.
Right.
I do have a lot of energy. And if you've watched our recent short that we came out with, I had a lot of energy one day. We're trying to figure out why. But I think it's just easier for your body to digest the same food, actually.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's also this concern about, well, if you eat the same thing over and over, you get this disease. I forget the name. But
maybe if you're only eating bread
yeah,
or only eating one
and you're
thing
not eating.
and you're not getting variation.
Yeah.
I've noticed, and like I'll listen to my body, but I won't listen to like the immediate response, like the dopamine hit that I get from like eating something that gives you that like rush, you know, that like that was good. It's more like I'll listen to my body afterwards, the aftermath. And maybe that's just, maybe my body screamed loud enough for me to finally like listen to the aftermath and not the immediate dopamine hit or whatever. And that's why like I eat the way that I do, and that I'm like so strict with my diet, which I'm not perfect and I'm still figuring it out. We'll talk more about that in the next pod. But I prioritize listening to kind of like what makes my body like feel good in the long run. Like, and really kind of like go off of those feelings. And so, yeah, I mean, eating organically changed everything. Taking Biomedic from Purium.
Yeah, which
We'll
helps.
put a link for that down below. We are not affiliated with it. My sister is affiliated with the company. But Biomedic detoxes your gut of glyphosate. It's patented, and it's like the only thing, like nothing gets glyphosate out. Glyphosate is what's sprayed on our crops. It messes with your gut. Taking that, and also Kangen water has like an 11.5 pH water that you can soak your veggies in, and it actually removes pesticides from the veggies. That doesn't mean that I'm like going off and buying conventional food, but even organic food can have like pesticides on it. And
Wait, so we could buy conventional veggies that are a little bit cheaper
no,
and just remove the pesticides?
I mean, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
that it's like there's a deeper program in those foods. There's an
Yeah.
energetic imprint of
It's like grown into
it's.
the red pepper.
I don't think that it can be fully taken out. That's just
No.
how I feel.
Yeah, because if it's in the soil is sucking up the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do know that that's why I love my Kangen machine, because it can pull out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a really big topic, and I feel like we could talk forever about food. But do you have any final words, Kevin, before we bring it to a close?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's, I feel like we just kind of skimmed the surface of the whole, like what your diet has turned into. But I think it's good to shine a little bit of light on it. And, I think it's good for people to hear how we eat. And if it can be helpful to somebody, whether they incorporate one tiny bit of it, or maybe they find something, it's not like we're saying you have to eat overnight oats.
No.
But you can find your own thing.
No, yeah, it's like everyone has different bodies. You don't have to be vegan, but like look into the meat industry,
Yeah.
Just do a little bit of research there. Like learn what you're putting into your body, because it's like not pretty when you really do the diving.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I think you can be a carnivore. You can do the carnivore diet if it's done the right way.
Yeah,
also.
totally.
So.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, like certain animals are shot up with like steroids and stuff. You don't want to be eating that.
Yeah.
So think about that. There's also the karma like side of things. If the animal lived a really painful, traumatic life, your body's processing that trauma. That's a lot. Like, I'm super sensitive, so I feel it more, but just because you're not consciously feeling it, like, that energetically can really weigh a person down. So just be conscious of what you're putting into your body. But, like, yeah, I don't like telling people what to do. But yeah. Anyway.
Cool. All right.
Let's bring it to a close.
Pod up. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.